Another day, another video about LA Knight. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, please. So Kevin Nash, aka Diesel, Big Daddy Cool, came out on his podcast, Click This, and basically started stating some things about LA Knight that I wanted to talk about and defend LA Knight for, because Kevin Nash, who I think is a very smart person, actually somebody who I respect. He wasn't the greatest worker or wrestler of all time, but he knew how to do the business. He knew how to succeed in the business. You could say what you want about him, but he had the mind for wrestling, and is one heck of an athlete, to say that. But he was on his podcast saying the thing that I hear a lot of people saying right now, which is, wow, this guy LA Knight, is he not just a clone of The Rock and Stone Cold? And I hear this from Kevin Nash, and it makes me sad, because wrestling is about clones. Wrestling is about using and finding things from other wrestlers and being inspired by other wrestlers to create your persona, your character, give you the confidence that you need in the business. Where do you think Hulk Hogan got his swag from? Superstar Billy Graham. So is Kevin Nash going to go on his podcast and talk about that? No, because it wouldn't swing the narrative, because LA Knight is easy to tear down right now because people are making fun of him for this. And here's my theory. Number one, to say he's a clone of Stone Cold and The Rock is a compliment. Stone Cold and The Rock are two of the greatest wrestlers and entertainers in the wrestling industry of all time, bar none, hands down. They are in and on almost everybody's Mount Rushmore, if not top 10 for a lot of people, including myself. So number one, to say you're a clone of two of the best people ever is not a bad thing. If you had a soccer player and said, oh, this guy plays just like a clone of Ronaldo and Messi, well, people wouldn't be saying that as a negative. He would be going down as the best soccer player in history. If people said this guy's like Jordan and LeBron, well, guess what? That's because people emulate their personalities and things off of people that they are fans of. LA Knight has said many times that The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin have inspired him heavily and have helped give him his persona, then I think that's great. I think the argument from Kevin is lame, because he is in the industry. This means that LA Knight is a fan of wrestling, is somebody that has watched the Attitude Era, has watched the craft, and has built upon that. So instead of going after somebody for keeping it in the industry, especially going after two of the greats of all time and trying to emulate them, I can't believe that people think that's a problem. I really can't. And like I said, I usually agree with a lot of things Kevin Nash said, but there he feels like bitter and old. Because, yeah, even if he is a quote-unquote carbon copy, we need more of that Attitude Era style back. A lot of us have been asking for a long time to have a character come out that feels like that 1998 to 2001 vibe. I've been yearning for it for a while. And then we get it, and we get somebody that sounds like The Rock, which he can't help, that's his voice, and has some mannerisms of Stone Cold. And I now feel like one of the minority that likes it, because he's still his own character. He has his own catchphrases. He has his own things that he's come up with. He has created a style for himself over the years. So I can't for the life of me understand why people in the wrestling industry are putting someone down for taking inspiration from some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Now, if you said, hey, this guy, he's like a mixture of, let's just say the Nasty Boys or something random where, it's a straight carbon copy of something that nobody really would care about or nobody was a big fan of anymore, sure. But you're talking about The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just think it's a cheap argument. I think it's a cheap thing to say about somebody. And Kevin Nash would not be saying this right now if LA Knight was not completely over. And there has to be, in my opinion, a sense of jealousy and envy. Because this guy, LA Knight, is almost as over as Kevin Nash was as Diesel in the WWF, if not more. Those pops are much bigger. And I was a Diesel fan. I have his figures. I used to have his gloves back in the day. Okay, I was a fan of Big Daddy Cool. I'm still a fan of Kevin Nash. But I feel like if LA Knight wasn't over, wasn't getting these reactions, wasn't getting this push, we would not hear Kevin Nash talking about it. Because where was this when he was Eli Drake? Same character. Where was this comparison to The Rock and Stone Cold when he was Max Dupri? Or when he was LA Knight before he got over? A lot of these people seem to just step up to the narrative and create this fake narrative about people copying others once they get over, once they have the crowd behind them. And to me, that's so lame. It's so lame. It's just a bad take. And I think that it's sad that Kevin Nash at this age has to resort to putting new talent. And yes, you could say he's an older guy. He's 40, LA Knight. Well, guess what? To a lot of people, this is the first time they're seeing him. And if you want to create new wrestling fans and you have people excited and happy that somebody's over, getting crowd reactions, wanting a push for that guy, I hate that there are a lot of wrestlers that are then trying to say, oh, this guy doesn't deserve it. Does anybody else feel like this guy's just this or that? No, support this guy. Hell yeah, this is great for the company. That should be the take. That should be the narrative. LA Knight is great for the company. He's great for box office. We need another star, right? We've been relying on people like Cena and Orton and the same guys for a while. They still bring The Undertaker back every year in some way, right? I've been waiting for new stars to be built to the mainstream. It's been a long time. And now that it's happening, people are trying to tear LA Knight down. And I think it's ridiculous. So yes, if he's a Rock and Stone Cold clone, great. We need it. We need more of it. Give me a Kane and Undertaker clone, right? Give me a Rikishi clone. Give me all of those. Because that means that they are fans of the sport, fans of wrestling entertainment, fans of this world that I love so much. And I respect that. I'd rather that than somebody come in and have no idea about the industry or anything and think they're the best. Then I would be, then you would have an argument for me. But don't go after the people that are in this industry that clearly love it. Because you're just fighting internally, and that's not supposed to be the case. So, if you agree, let me know. If you disagree with me and you agree with Kevin Nash, that's fine as well. Let me know. Look, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Nobody is right or wrong. Nobody knows the answers. But I just feel like it's a bad narrative, and it'll make people that are younger watching who want to be a wrestler, who are looking at certain guys, maybe like Randy Orton trying to emulate what they do, or Chris Jericho or Roman Reigns, and they may say, nah, never mind, because if I'm inspired by them, people will just say I'm a copycat and they'll blow me off. And I don't like that. I think inspiration is key, and I hope LA Knight blows up and wins a title and gets a huge push just to shove it in all these people's face that doubt him. So, that's it for my rant here. Thumbs up if you agree. Comment if you don't, or if you do. I'd love to hear from you. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to get 200 subscribers on this channel. Your one sub could really help us get there, since we're only at 128 right now. So if you could do that, it would mean a lot. Thank you as always to Pete for letting me on the channel. This has been Ryan for WrestleRant Studios. Yeah!